Well, I'm pretty much tapped out of all the Star Rail stuff for 2.5. I mean, I said this would happen, right? It'd be a recap and then talk about the ending, and then, like, what else is there to discuss? It was a pretty small story, only about 3 hours. 'Twas an assumed risk we all made, and we all know what happens when we assume. But given it's Sunday night, no less, I'm feeling frisky. So while I'm not keen to return to Teyvat today, I did want to leave off Star Rail by finally discussing perhaps the most intriguing mystery Star Rail has to offer, and it just got even weirder, and it's the rating gun. Y'all remember this thing? Gun-looking curio owned by Herta, currently on the space station? This pistol is supposedly meant to just rate people on a scale from 0 to 100.
There's this gun. It can rate any creature within its crosshair as a score from 0 to 100.
Doesn't sound very interesting.
And it does this via unknown means. Quote, item number 752 rating pistol. This weapon rates creatures on sight using unknown scoring logic. While it may have the appearance of a common forehead thermometer, the rating pistol also has a slightly closed eye on it, which will rapidly spin around a few times antagonistically as you pick it up. Use it on ordinary items, and with a beep sound, you will see that Pom-Pom is 1 point. Pom-Pom and Himiko are ordinary items. Himiko, 9 points, the lab's glass doors, 10 points, and the cosmic bouquet, 2 points. Now, for the most part, the pistol does keep the ratings of characters between 0 and 100. Jingliu is the official lowest rated character with a score of 0, and no one has a true rating of 100, maybe, although Yunjing is one off, sitting at 99. What's odd, however, is that there's someone rated above 100, and it's Silverwolf, who somehow managed to net a score of 110. Now, this breaks the rules that were previously established by Silverwolf herself, who stated the gun's ratings run from 0 to 100. So, how could it be that Silverwolf managed to break this glass ceiling? Let's just say, you know, odds are the bitch hacked it, right? I mean, you don't gotta be like Sherlock Holmes to figure this one out, right? When you rate Silverwolf, the gun responds, quotes, 110 points, reported the rating pistol at Silverwolf. The voice sounded strange and digitized, so I mean, either she really wanted to win, or it just so happens Silverwolf is Pope, take your pick. In actuality, however, it seems like Silverwolf's true rating is 100, which still would make her the highest rated person. But despite Silverwolf's breaking of the rules, she isn't the most interesting rating. No, that honor belongs to an assortment of different characters who all share the same rating of Invalid, because the gun can't or refuses to rate them. And the members of this Invalid club are Acheron, feixiao, jingliu, luocha, Sampo Koski, and March 7th. When these 6 characters are thrusted in front of the rating pistol, the pistol reads, quote, the closed eye of this weird little gun suddenly snaps open as it swirls around for a moment, staring at you with malice. Rating Invalid. Its eyeball swivels around 3 times before suddenly widening. After a brief impasse, it shuts its eye wearily. So, what do these 6 characters have in common with one another that would net them an invalid rating? Well, at first glance, it's nothing. What we have here is an Emanator, 2 Arbiter Generals, a blonde traveler whose power stems from the abundance, a masked fool, and someone who to this day is a complete mystery. Their origins, their real name, hell, even the path they belong to, are all unknown. Now, it seems like most people's knee-jerk reaction is to simply call all the Invalids Emanators, because Acheron is a confirmed Emanator. But here's the odd thing. Acheron being an Emanator actually makes her an outlier. Why? Because she's the only confirmed Emanator of the 6. However, this is not where her being an outlier ends, because the thing that connects most of the 6 is their connection to an aeon. The 2 Arbiter Generals have spirits directly granted by the aeon law. Luocha, as we just learned, is traveling with parts of the remains of the aeon tayzzyronth. And finally, March 7th had her memory sealed by an unnamed aeon.
Close, Wather? You mean Fuli the Remembrance? Are they the aeon connected to my past?
No, it's too early to draw such a conclusion. All I can say is that it was very likely an aeon that sealed away your memories. When the messenger spoke of protection, perhaps Perhaps she meant the following. By sealing away your memories, the glow swather wasn't attempting to harm you, but to shield you from the memories themselves.
This then leaves two names with no connection whatsoever to any aeon. Sampo Koski and Acheron. Now for those going, well, wait a second. Acheron's an emanator, which by definition is when an aeon allows for a larger than normal share of the path. So, by that logic, her connection to an aeon must be with the aeon that allowed her to become an emanator. And, you know, ordinarily, I'd be right there with you, fellas. Black power, baby. But here's the problem. Acheron is an emanator of the nihility. What's that mean, fellas? Well, IX, as we all know, is the one aeon who never has and never will glance at anyone, Acheron included. They never open their path to anyone. They never meant for Acheron to become an emanator because they don't care about Acheron, nor anyone. The only reason Acheron is an emanator of the nihility is because she endured the nothingness better than most.
The sleeping and shapeless never glance at anyone. They have no face, no form, and even less of a will to speak. The nihility envelops everyone equally. Only some who have gone under their shadow can go farther, tainting themselves with more nihility. That's all.
So it seems like her connection to an aeon isn't as evident as one would expect based on her status alone. Now as for Sampo Koski, I don't know, bro. This nigga, he's... what the fuck is he doing here, dog? There's no connection to an aeon. I know a lot of people like to speculate he's an emanator, but it seems like their strongest argument for when you ask them why they think Sampo is an emanator of the elation is they go back to the rating pistol, so I mean, if we're being honest, Sampo is the true biggest outlier of all the names. Nothing hinting towards an emanator status, nor a connection to an aeon, and yet his rating, like the others, is invalid. Now, I believe the pistol is weary when rating those when aeons are involved. I mean, for these 6 people, keep in mind what the pistol says when it rates them. Quotes, "The closed eye of this weird little gun suddenly snaps open as it swirls around for a moment, staring at you with malice." It looks at these individuals with malice. This isn't said for everyone else. When looking at these 6, it doesn't like what it sees and doesn't rate them, and it could be due to their aeonic connection. Now, I suppose they all could be emanators. We don't have another way to verify who's an emanator and who isn't, but I don't know. The way this story handled Acheron being an emanator as a fucking DEFCON 1 threat makes me wonder if they'd casually just go back and be like, oh yeah, by the way, jingliu is an emanator. As for what the gun more generally rates people for, we have no idea, not the slightest idea, nor does anyone. Quote, "As for the internal reasoning behind its rating system, every researcher aboard the space station has their own theory, which could have been compiled into a whole book called Study on the Rating System of the Rating Pistol." Damn, now, kind of unrelated. I really want to do a video on March. What rhymes with March? Cha-cha slide.